Of the morning sports desk. I'm CJ Baumgartner, and I'm joined with Gage Bjerga of Staples-Motley, wrestling a state champion at 107 pounds in the individuals. Gage, thanks for joining the program.
Thanks for having me.
You know, it was been a long season for you. You're able to get to the state championship and able to win in the 107 weight class. Was that something you had as a goal coming into the season, or did it just kind of happen?
Well, at the start of the season, my goal was to get to state and hopefully just place. But like as the season went on and I got ranked first and I kind of knew all the kids that I might have, it started to go to winning it. Yeah.
Was there ever like a point? Was there ever a specific match? Was there maybe a specific day or a practice where you kind of felt to yourself like, I can do this thing?
Well, there's a kid that I've wrestled before, and he wrestled the second seed, and he barely lost to him. So, and I've beaten that kid before, so I knew kind of at that point that it was a good possibility that I could win.
Sure. And Staples-Motley wrestling had a great year. You got to the state title match. You guys were runners up, but just talk about what it's been like with your team all season long and just how successful you guys were.
I didn't expect us to have as much success as we did, but as like the season went on and we kept winning, and we lost the holding fort at the start of the year kind of, but eventually we kept getting better and we beat them at sections. And like when we beat holding fort, I kind of knew that we could have a chance at winning, and everyone improved and put in what they had to for us to win. So
it takes a lot to be really good at wrestling. It's a lot of preparation. It's a lot of work. What does your off season look like? How much time are you putting in, and kind of what is that? What is it like for you? How do you get ready during the off season?
Well, I do competition outside of the high school season, so I'll do Minnesota, like USA. It does a state tournament, and then I'll also do NYWA, which is a K8 wrestling tournament. And then after that, I'll do freestyle and Greco, which is two different styles of wrestling, and that you can go up to like a national level with that. So that usually lasts most of the summer, and I keep consistently training like 3-5 days a week.
Sure.
Yeah.
What does it look like? What does it look like for you during the season? Being with your teammates, getting to spend time with them. Just what about your teammates and kind of being in practice with those guys? What's some of the more fun parts of that?
Well, everyone likes to mess around with each other, and especially like our seniors, because they know it's their last year. They always like to have fun. So it's never like a boring atmosphere, and it never gets old.
Throughout the season, is there a favorite moment that you've had, outside of winning the state title? Is there any kind of other fun memories that you have throughout the season, or maybe a specific match where you're just really proud of? Is there any, what's kind of your favorite moments throughout the year?
I think my favorite moment was when we beat Holding Ford in the section finals, and nobody really expected us to do that. We were the underdogs, and that the tourney match of that duel was probably when Blake Nealon, one of our seniors, lat dropped a kid, which he was originally losing to and was supposed to lose to, but he ended up pinning him, and that was probably the highlight of the year.
What do you like about wrestling so much? Obviously, like you just talked about, you're doing it all the time, all year long. You have to like it if you're willing to put in those hours and all that work. What's your favorite part of wrestling?
I like when I win, but also the recognition that comes with it. Like even in the past couple weeks, I've had many people come up to me and like my parents and congratulate me. It just feels really good.
And what do you think are some of the things that you do really well on the mat? Obviously, getting to a state title match and winning in a 107, you can do a lot of good things. But, specifically, what are the things that you feel very comfortable with and some of the things that you do best that your competitors have to watch out for?
Well, my whole life, basically, I've done cross-face cradle, and I did it all year, and it's worked all year. And I did it in the finals, and I didn't end up pinning him, but I got 3 points out of it. So it's funny a lot. The coaches will yell at their kids, watch out for the cradle. And most of the time I end up getting it.
And, what does your mind go through when you're in a match? Do you just kind of black out and just let everything kind of take over? Or are you trying to think as you go along? What's kind of your approach once you get on the mat?
Well, once I get on the mat, I can't really remember much. I usually it's muscle memory, and whatever happens, happens. I mean, maybe between periods I'll think about what I might have to do, but I'm not really thinking about everything during the match.
Obviously you had a great season this year. Kind of what are your goals for next year? What do you kind of have, what do you have your eye on in the 2024-25 season?
My personal individual goal would be obviously to win state again, but for a team-wise goal, I think we could win state next year also for team.
And, is that something you guys talk about? Is that something you guys are like, hey, that's the goal? Are you guys already working towards next year? Or is it let's kind of let it breathe and let's worry about it when it gets here? Or are you guys pretty jacked up about next season already?
I think a lot of our team is already hungry for next year, and they want to win it. And it was obviously pretty heartbreaking when we lost, so they don't want that to happen again. So most of the team is already putting in work.
What do you like about your coaches and just about being around them, and how much have they helped you get to this point?
Our coaches are very diverse. We have a lot of different viewpoints and different things that we can all work on and do. So it helps to get all those different viewpoints because there's a lot of different styles and things that people do in wrestling. So you kind of get all of it instead of just one specific style, really.
All right. One of the last questions I have for you here, Gage, is with the wrestling in the area, and obviously, individual wrestling, there's a ton of them, but there was 3 local teams that got down to the state wrestling tournament. How tough is it in wrestling in this area? How cool is it to know that you're facing almost every time you get on the mat some of the top competition in the state?
It was pretty nerve-wracking, and I think the whole team kind of felt that, but as the day went on, or as the matches kept going one after the other, it kind of faded away, and it just, for me at least, it felt like just wrestling anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. And, with all these other teams, what do you think makes wrestling in this area so good? Obviously you're the one who's putting in the work. Is it just seeing all those kids put that same off-season work in? What about wrestling in this area is so cool?
I think there's a lot of talented kids in this area, which obviously they all help push each other, and they go to the same clubs, and they've trained together before, and they all kind of get better together. So, and the more good kids that there are, the more kids get good, and it keeps just going.
All right. Last question I have for you here, Gage. How much has your family and the fans, how much of those guys really helped you get to this point?
The fans have helped a lot, just cheering me on through the many years that I've wrestled. My family has helped a ton. My mom has always cheered me on, and she always makes food for me and the team, and I know they all like that. And my brother has always been my partner throughout all the years. Maybe not as much last year because I was a lot bigger, and then obviously my dad has helped a ton because he's been my main coach throughout my whole career.
Gage Bjerga, Staples-Motley wrestler, state champion at 107 pounds. Gage, congratulations on the season and best of luck to you next year. And hopefully we'll have you back 12 months from now. We'll be having this conversation again.
Thank you.